Brothers don't watch, we're here to take over the world.
Bow, bow.
What's
bow,
up, fellas? How y'all doing this
bow,
evening?
bow, bow,
Bow, bow, bow down.
bow down.
Yes, sir.
So what's good? I know it's been a good 2 weeks since we last got together.
Yeah.
The world's a different place today.
Oh, it's a different place every day.
So what y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to jump into?
I want to jump into that Ma'Khia Bryant situation.
All right, get on. Explain.
That's been something that.
What's the original facts that you want them to know before you go into that part of the story?
I mean, the facts are there. Like if you watch the film, the facts are there. It's just honestly like I've been talking. It's okay. Okay, this is how I came about to it. Right. I saw it when the day it happened. There was a bunch of social media outrage.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I was like, let me digest this first, because again, I feel like people have a habit of jumping into things emotionally without really processing it logically.
All right, come on.
So I said, let me process this logically, give it a little bit, a couple days before I dive into it. Then I watched the video. And when I watched the video, although everybody from regular people all the way up to LeBron James, you know what I'm saying, is talking about, is trying to lump this situation into...
With all the other situations.
With all the other situations.
They're not all the same.
And they're not all the same. That's
You
right.
can't feel the same way about somebody being a clown.
Right.
Doing something that just makes no sense.
Right. So when I'm looking, and me, I'm coming from the standpoint of, I'm actually currently right now training to get my certification to be in executive protection, private security. I'm trying to start a private security company.
Okay.
And because in this situation really shows why that's needed. Because even if the police say, yo, we're not coming to work no more, we still gonna have to protect ourselves, protect our neighborhoods, protect our communities. And what this shows me more than anything is that a lot of people are very disillusioned when it comes to that.
Come on, speak.
You know what I'm saying? Like, in all honesty, most of us are not capable of doing it. People yell defund the police, which I'm fine with that because I've never had a use for the police in my life. 44 years old, I have never had a use for the police. You know what I'm saying? I grew up in communities that were established by us.
Come on.
So I've always been part of...
Which communities?
Huh?
Which communities?
Well, we just bought land.
Awesome.
Our parents, we was all in the hood. And literally, it was just, we was all in the hood. We come from, we come from Muslim background upbringing. And a bunch of families, my father, his companions, and this, that, we all come from big families. Like, my father has 17 kids. Let's see, 1, 2, 3 families that are married into my family also have 13 to 17 kids.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Numbers. Okay.
That's a village. You know what I mean? You take like right now, we got land in Commerce. Well, we got multiple properties in Commerce, right? There's one main, and then there's, but it's basically the family. Everybody there is related through marriage or whatever the case may be. But it's a full-fledged village because, again, 17 kids. Out of all 17, how many of them are married? Let's see, who's not married? 1, 2, 3, 4. There's only 4 or 5 of them that's not married. Everybody else got families. You know what I'm saying? So, in-laws and interconnecting relationships, boom, right? A while ago, they was trying to lie and tell me, oh, these are terrorist camps and whatever. You see, they're not talking about that anymore because that's been debunked already, right? It's just a bunch of Muslims who decide, look, we need to get out of the city because of all of the issues that we're dealing with right now. You know what I'm saying? We need to get out of the city. We've established schools. I've been a school principal. I've been a teacher at the school. And those schools have produced professionals, right, that were not influenced by the society.
Okay, come on.
in large part. So when I speak about these things like, yo, we need to start establishing our own communities, people be like, yeah, but,
The
not
naysayers.
understanding that I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking because I've seen this. We have now 2 or 3 generations of people who were raised in this.
Come on.
You understand what I'm saying? So in our own communities that we decided to establish, and then some went on and, you know, like my mom and my brothers, they decided, boom, we're going to get this piece of land. So then they decided, boom, they're going to do that. So they established their own little
Community.
right.
Okay.
You feel me? So it's my mom, my sister, and 3 of my brothers. And then, you know, like my brother's mother-in-law snatched up another piece over there and built a house
Okay. Okay.
right next to where my brother. So it's, you know what I'm saying?
You growing the community.
So this is how I grew up. You know what I'm saying? This is how I grew up. Well, this started for us at about, I was about 15. It started for us in high school. Well, no, 17.
Okay.
So this has been my reality since I was 17. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have our own security. We have our own police force in a sense. So I've never had any use for the police, ever. And don't think that I ever will. That's just me personally, right? And I'm not saying that to say that the police are not needed, because I feel like a lot of people do. I'm in a different category. I was raised a different way. You know what I mean? So when people say, yo, defund the police, I'm cool with that. Me personally, I'm cool with that. But I also understand the reality is that a lot of people will not be able to sustain without them. A lot of people will not be able to protect their own, protect their families without them. And the responses to this situation makes that abundantly clear. Because, in all honesty, my personal opinion, the cop did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. True.
And in fact, he needs a medal. Because the thing that bothers me most about this situation is not the girl that lost her life. I think that's tragic. But I also understand violence. I understand warfare. I understand that once you pick up a weapon,
That's right.
you are a combatant. You're not a child anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Anyone who's ever been in the military, anyone who's ever been in active duty, anyone who's ever been in war, anyone who even studies war, you study the history of the child soldiers in Africa.
That's right.
If you're on the field of battle and you got a weapon,
You're a combatant.
You're a combatant.
Indeed.
You're right.
You're a combatant. And so what bothers me the most is that people are focused on the girl that lost her life.
because she was 16, but her decision.
But what about the girl? What about the girl that was about to lose her
Yeah,
life?
indeed.
How old was she?
Is
No
it-
one even knows. No one even cares. How old was she? She was in the peer group, so she had to be
A teenager.
a teenager. No one even brings up her age. No one even. It's not one post or one person that says thank you to that officer for saving that little girl's life. Because
I
that's
wonder
what,
who was the other girl that fell first, and some dude was trying to kick her in the head.
okay, so this is what I saw.
Kicked her.
This is what I saw. This is what I saw. This is what you see in the video. Like I said, the facts are there. When the cop first exit the vehicle, the girl in the pink and another girl were standing next to a car,
That's right. Go on.
right? They were clearly non-combative. Part of self-defense, we talk about self-defense and different things like that. Part of that is situational awareness. Being able to read people. Okay? So, you look at their posture, you look at what they're doing. I think the girl in the pink was on the phone, right?
And the fact is, what you're saying, she wasn't trying to be an aggressor, because she wasn't.
She was literally, according to the video, she was a bystander.
Okay. Come
People
on.
want to talk about what happened before the video. I can't get into what I don't see.
Come on. Indeed. Come on.
But it's apparent that the girl in the pink was a bystander, right? Because when the melee happened, she was still standing by the car. How do we know this? Because when she got attacked, she leaned up on the car and put her leg up. So when the girl came out, if she was a part of that, well, she probably was friends with her or something or whatever. But she was not actively participating in the melee.
All right, go on, go on.
Okay? So boom. So the cops see you see you pan over there. You did what you're supposed to do. You jump out, you pan over, you make split-second decisions. Okay, these two are over here. They don't look like they a part of the problem. All right, let me look around, see what else is going on. And then, boom, all of a sudden, you see the girl come out, and the guy come out, the girl falls on the ground, the guy kicks her in the head, you know what I'm saying? And then, Miss Bryant, rest in peace, she comes out, she, does a little boom, 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 boom on the girl on the ground, and then she immediately turned to the girl in the pink.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And number one, the girl in the pink had to be no more than about maybe 120, 30 pounds. She didn't look that big at all. The girl, Miss Bryant, rest in peace, she had to be close to 6 feet. 5'7", 5'8".
Okay.
Easy.
Okay.
Close to 200 pounds. Easy. Easy 175. Easy. Okay? 160, 175.
Okay.
Big girl, probably.
It's a big girl.
Okay.
It's a big girl. And I don't know if anyone has ever detained someone with that sort of weight that's fully committed to what they're doing.
Yeah. It's a struggle. I have had that situation.
It's not easy.
No, that's a situation.
It's not easy. Right? So
and you're gonna work to get that person under control or to detain that person. You're gonna work. So back to the point that you were making, in the fact that the young lady in the pink never posed any threat from what the video shows, that she was never trying to be. She wasn't attacking anybody. As you said, she leaned up against the car, almost as like, hey, I'm trying to prevent you from even coming into me. And she wasn't the initial person that Miss Bryant was in the confrontation with.
mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at this then. You pointed out is that the guy, once this young lady hit the ground, a guy came in to kick that young lady.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know is, why didn't he try to prevent this altercation instead of joining in? The guy.
The one that kicked
the guy that attempted to kick the girl or kick the young lady.
That blew my mind and broke my heart at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at in this sense. Okay, why wouldn't you try to separate them instead of
instigate?
Okay, yeah, okay. So back to what I was saying.
Okay.
My fault. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm saying he was a bystander because the young lady in the pink was a bystander.
Mm-hmm.
Why didn't he try to prevent it? Okay, Butter, in a sense, okay, Ish, what I'm looking at from the video, see, like he was antagonizing this or joining into this, but I'm looking at even on a greater significance. He didn't look to be a teenager. He looked to be older
Grown
right
man.
Right.
So where was his responsibility in the fact that I should be trying to prevent these sisters from engaging in this type of behavior?
Right.
I'm at the house. I can even keep one of these sisters. Oh, I can keep y'all separated. But he didn't choose to do that. So to me, I thought he would neglect the actual power that he had to prevent by allowing Miss Bryant to still go on into this action, and by him participating like he was okay with it. That in charge, or would you agree? Could that have encouraged her to continue to even do more? Because it seemed like nobody was trying to prevent her from doing anything.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
And that's ultimately my problem. You know what I'm saying? My problem with the situation is we need to do a better job. We need to do better
Okay.
with raising our children. We need to do better. We need to do better. Like, you know, everyone wants to make excuses for the young lady's action.
Come on.
But at the end of the day, a picture is worth 1,000 words.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. So the image, you know, what you see with your eyes, like all other details aside, I started out by walking through the details
Okay.
because the details are important. But all other details aside, first of all, people saying, well, she was defending herself, don't understand what that means. If that girl would have shanked that girl in the pink, there's no way she would have went to prison.
Right, you didn't say it was self-defense.
Listen, DeAndre Barnes, the actor that's in Snowfall, he did what? He did, what is it, 8 years in prison?
Yeah.
For manslaughter?
Who plays Scully. He plays Scully.
Right.
Yeah.
Same situation. He was, he pulled up at his cousin's house, aunt's house. Her boyfriend came out, started wailing on him. He picked up a knife and stabbed him. They didn't see it as self-defense because it's not self-defense. It's self-defense if you have a knife on you and someone attacks you and you pull it out and you.
Okay.
They coming at you, not you're going at. You can't be going at them
And be in self-defense.
and say it's self-defense.
Okay, come on.
They have to be coming at you. This is the law. This is how the law works. They have to be coming at you. You have to have had a knife on you. You felt like your life was in imminent danger.
Okay.
These are all the factors that have to go into when you talk about self-defense. I was defending myself, right? It can't be. See, the ghetto way of thinking about it is they came over here with some problems, so I ran after them and I stabbed them, so I was defending myself. No, that's not how it works.
Okay, come on.
That's not how it works.
Ish. Come on.
That may be how the hood see it,
But that's
but
not
how many things we see from a hood perspective that don't hold up in the court of law,
Most.
Okay.
that get us prosecuted?
Most.
You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem. This is what I'm talking about. The hood, this hood mentality, this celebration of criminal behavior, it needs to stop. That's why I was talking about before we started recording about the music. Like, we need to start attacking this music.
Come on.
Because it's the music that be influencing them to do these things. And a lot of times, like, when we were young, you know, I grew up on NWA and just like, but I couldn't listen to that in front of my parents. We couldn't listen to that in front of our parents. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We had to sneak off and listen to it. What does that mean? That means we understand consciously while we're listening to it that this may not be the most appropriate
music to be listening
to.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
So, but what we've seen in the last, I'll say 20 years, 15, 20 years, this type of negative programming is being introduced to these kids early.
And I love the term you use too, is that the hood is celebrating this behavior. Right. And it should not be celebrated.
No.
We should be separated from this type of behavior. For we say black on black crime. Well, I say crime is crime. Depending on what environment you is, crime is crime.
Because the streets don't love you.
So I love that where Ish points to the fact that why are we so apt to celebrate this type of behavior when in actuality it's a crime?
It's a crime.
It doesn't make us look good. Actually it highlights
what bothers me more than anything? The selective empathy.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the selective empathy is really not even selected in the right place. If you want to put yourself in someone's shoes, what I did when I first saw it, if I roll up and I see that situation and that's my daughter, put yourself in that situation. Every father that hit me up, I say the same thing. What if that was your daughter? I had a friend of mine, we came into the gym because, again, I posted a video on my thing with me and my dad going over the scenario.
Come on. Okay.
I'm about to shank her. I'm about to shank the bag with this knife. And then my pops is trained for this. Get there and disarm me before I stab her. Go.
But mind you, you got to get there before I stab her.
Right. So you,
Okay.
Yeah. So from here, I can't get it.
I already stabbed her.
Yeah.
Right. That's
Is,
right.
You know what I mean? Boom, right? That. But before you stab her, honestly, I watched the video.
Mm-hmm.
He had a choice to make. Let her stab her, and then try to do something, or shoot her. Because she was beyond verbal commands.
He couldn't do it.
Right, you ain't have enough. He was too far away.
He couldn't do it.
He didn't have enough. He wouldn't have had enough time
do
to
it.
get to her. That's the other part.
And then people say, and this is again, this is highlighting people's ignorance when it comes to self-defense, protecting your community. Which doesn't give me a lot of faith when we talking about getting rid of the police and we protecting our own.
Because you saying
These type of now you got to make these decisions.
Split second.
Now
decisions.
you got to make these split second decisions. Are you going to be able to make the right decision? Are you the type of person that watch too many movies and you think shooting that girl in the first of all? Okay, let me just address all of the different things people were saying. Somebody said, "Whoa, shoot her in the leg." First of all, I don't think anyone that's saying shoot her in the leg understands how hard it is to shoot someone in the leg from that distance while they're moving. That's hard.
It is.
Legs are small targets. That's hard. And it's even harder to shoot her in the leg at a place that would stop her immediately. Because that's what you needed to do. In that situation, she needed to be stopped immediately. Look at the still right before she got shot. It wasn't even there. It was here.
It was up here. She was up. Yeah,
It was here.
She was coming
She
down.
started low.
Yeah, she was coming
And
up.
then when the girl put her leg up, she went for the throat.
Yep.
She was coming down with all of her body weight. You realize, first of all, you would have to shred her leg.
In order
You
to
would
stop
have to
her
almost
immediately.
blow her leg off
To stop her immediately.
to stop her immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if people who's saying that ever deer hunted before.
Shoot a deer, they don't just fall.
Because if you shoot a deer, they don't just fall instantly. They keep
They keep
running.
running.
They keep moving. Yeah.
Shoot a
They
deer
keep
in the
moving.
leg.
You shoot a deer in the leg, they still going. You gotta hit them 4, 5, 6 times before they stop. And it's the same thing for human beings. And it was funny because me and my dad just had that conversation the day before I watched the video. So we was training and he was telling me, do. When you are trained to use a firearm to protect people or to protect your own self, this notion of shooting one time and they're gonna stop, that's in the movies. That's not real life. You can ask any professional, military, private contractor, private security, police officer, whatever. They will all tell you the same thing. People who believe otherwise don't understand violence. And that's what it really comes down to.
Violence. Yeah.
They may understand thuggery or
but not violence.
they don't really understand violence. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you need people who understand violence. You know what I mean? So shoot her in the leg. First of all, that's extremely hard. Number one. Number two, you mess around and shoot her in the leg, it go through the leg, ricochet, hit somebody else. Now they jacked up.
He lucky he didn't shoot like 2 other people around it. He had a good selection and grouping.
Facts. And he was able to get that he was able to stop that girl right before she stabbed that other girl without hitting the
Anybody
victim.
else.
That was excellent
He
shooting.
need to be celebrated.
He needs to be celebrated, honestly.
Just as a citizen.
And I'm not, you know me, everybody know my
You saved
position
that
on
girl.
police officers. I don't have to go into that. I'm about to go into that, right? But that's the facts. You know what I'm saying? And then the other one was, why didn't he tase her? Okay, that means he would have to holster his weapon, because he can't just throw it on the ground and grab his taser. He throw it on the ground, somebody grab and shoot him.
Come on.
So so in a split second that it would have taken, because by the time he made the decision to shoot her, she was already
In motion.
in motion.
She was in motion.
She was in motion. So he would have to holster his weapon, pull the taser,
Turn it on.
turn it on, and then shoot her with it. And that, honestly, would not have stopped her. And if you don't believe that, you can watch plenty of videos.
Where people getting tased and they still follow through.
The sister, God rest her soul, they got shot by the police officer not too long ago. She was sitting in her car. He tased her. He hit her with the taser.
Put the gun down!
She still grabbed the gun out the glove box and fired on him. He turned fire. She got hit. She drove off. She died.
Shots fired!
But the moral of that story is she was actively getting tased and still grabbed the firearm and shot him. You know what I'm saying? So if he didn't have a vest on,
23, I'm
she'd
here.
have killed him while he was tasing him. So if I already know that, why would I gamble on someone else's life and try to tase him knowing that a lot of times a taser is not going to stop someone from doing that initial action. A taser is good for if someone is, you know, you got time and space to deal with that. But when someone is actively shooting or actively about to stab, you can't, a taser is not going to stop them from that, pulling that trigger or continuing that downward motion for that stab. And that was a big knife.
Exactly. That's again what I
That was
point
a Chucky
to.
and Michael Myers knife.
That I point to is that who allowed her to come
Out of the house.
Right.
Yeah, somebody allowed her to come out of the house because you could have blocked the door. Okay. Even if I don't put my hands on you, I could have blocked the door. And that's what I was looking at with the bystanders. Okay, you obviously knew there was something finna happen. Because you joined in to kick the young lady on the run. My thing is, if you in the house already and the police are on their way, or somebody, you've told me, Seal, I've called the police.
Stay in the house.
It's on me now to say, hey, Ish, I don't need you to go out there and talk to him. Let's just wait. We've already called the authorities.
I'm wondering what was she reacting to put her in such a mind state that I have to go out here and physically harm the person that hurt me.
But you know what I'm more concerned with? Because even if she was, what was she reacting to? Really is inconsequential. Well, I ain't gonna say it's inconsequential. It's not as consequential as the action itself.
Indeed. Okay.
So, you know, we can go through the possible scenarios of all the things that she may have been reacting to. That's still none of those things that I can think of. There's nothing I can think of that would justify you going after someone who is not actively
attacking
Engaging
you.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I
And
love.
With the butcher knife.
Knowing if you grab a knife, this is taking a life at some point if I put it in action.
Right.
And okay, and if I really don't want you to harm me, I can just lock the door and stay on the inside in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, and so I agree with you.
Or let's talk about the, you know, and again, these are things, I say things people don't like. But I'm consistent. I've been consistent on my platform forever. People who attack me for this stance, I think it's just became conscious or woke or whatever. It's just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know how long I've been doing this.
Right.
And it's not even about being conscious or being this or being pro-black. It's about what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah.
That's always been my stance. Now, that tends to lean towards racism and injustice and stuff because it's wrong. But I also speak up against injustice against Muslims, injustice against, what's wrong is wrong. And in this situation, again, not only that, she came out while the police officer was there with a gun drawn.
Right. That's another.
And that wasn't enough. Even if, like people say, she was the one that called the cops. Well, when she came outside and seen the cops, she should have stopped.
Or why not? Yeah, drop the knife.
Dropped the knife, went over to the cop and said, there they go right there.
I'm the one who called.
I'm the one who called.
But she didn't express that. She didn't, right?
But let's even get into something deeper. What type of disdain for authority that you have to have? Let's get into it.
Come on, let's dig deep.
What type of disdain for authority you have to have to actively try to kill someone in front of a police officer?
That really speaks to the mindset that you have.
Like, can you say that this is the type of person that you can tell stop and they'll stop? That will listen to her aunt or her mother?
And this happened in what state?
Ohio.
But I'm just as sure that could happen here in Africa.
It can happen anywhere. The problem is, again, our kids, not even say ours, because I don't raise my kids like that. But
our kids as Americans.
Our kids. I'm going to say our kids.
In our community.
Because our kids in our community are our kids. I look at children out here as my children as well. Right?
Right.
So we need to get away from this whole disrespectful
mentality,
unruly
attitude,
ornery, ghetto, violent. We need to get away from all of these things, man. If we're going to have any future as a people, we need to stop celebrating this kind of behavior.
Gather ourselves.
Right.
Because we're not doing better. We're doing worse.
Right. I tell my daughters this all the time. Like, I get on my daughter, I'm not even going to say strict, but I don't tolerate disrespect. I don't tolerate, because I tell my daughter all the time, you may be in a situation that your life may depend on your self-control.
Yes.
And your attitude.
Yes, your attitude. Your life
you
may
affect
depend
people. As soon as you show up with some bull, they got it for you.
I'll take it even one step further. Just where Ish pointed to him about it. The way you respond to the way somebody comes at you depends. Self-control.
Self-control.
You don't have to lose control. See, that's the one thing I've often, and I state this all the time, and even in my years of working in the juvenile justice system, the law enforcement, self-control. Listen to the word self. Self-control. Self. Meaning you have the deciding factor. Okay, you can join in or you cannot, but you can control yourself. People say, oh, I was out of control. Mm-hmm. Who allowed you to get out of control?
Yeah.
You. So you have the ability to control you. And just what it said, the way you respond, the way your self-control is, okay, you can size up a situation. And that's they're arguing. It's a crowd of people standing around. I'm an innocent bystander. I'm walking down the street-ish, down the sidewalk, the same side of the street they're on. But if I don't want to be involved, I can make a choice to what? Turn around, or I can what? Simply cross the street and go to the other sidewalk and still go where I'm going. Based off of my self-control. Or I could be like, I'm going to see what's going on.
Right.
You have a choice in it. Right. And that's what I was hearing you say that. Right. We have a choice.
And at the end of the day, there is nothing unless you're actively defending an attack. If the girl was attacking, I don't want to hear, well, it could have happened off camera. I'm not talking about what happened or could have happened off camera.
Right.
I'm talking about what we see. And what we see, even if let's say the girl off camera attacked her and then decided to go on camera and play the innocent bystander role, she's still not actively attacking you at that time.
Okay.
So even in a court of law, that's not going to be considered. You can't say, well, she hit me 10 minutes ago, so I stabbed her 10 minutes later.
So you waited 10 minutes.
You killed her.
Right.
That's not self-defense.
It's premeditated.
Yes.
Yeah, that's manslaughter. That's manslaughter at least.
At the minimum. Yeah.
At the minimum, that's manslaughter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, this is what I feel like. Everybody now, the culture now is what's the outrage and activism. That's the culture. And because most people are sheep.
Yep.
Who flock together and follow a shepherd.
Come on.
They just fall right into it. And most of them don't even realize what they're talking about. They just outrageous because now all of a sudden people are like, yo, Black Lives Matter are frauds, blah, blah, blah. Right? Because they use these victims to get $1 million homes and all that. That's a popular narrative now. I was saying this when they were active.
Come on.
And people were attacking me for it. Yo, now you see it. Again, emotions, listen people, emotions override common sense every single time.
Come on. Come on.
And we got to stop letting these situations stir up our emotions.
Without us using our sense to look at it. Yeah.
Because we'll never solve the problem.
True.
We'll never solve the problem.
That's real.
If we always looking at the situation and saying, and lumping it into it just so we could feel some sort of outrage and act accordingly, you're not directing that outrage in the right places. In this particular situation, the outrage needs to be directed at the components within that community that allowed that girl to pick up a knife and try to stab another black girl.
In front of
witnesses and a police officer with a gun drawn.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you are so out of your mind that you didn't see a police officer with a gun drawn when you went to commit a potential murder, then that's also something we need to address.
Yes, yes.
Why are our kids that out of control?
And how is it that we don't have, in a way in our community, we don't speak on conflict resolution in the way that we should? Because our kids to just react in a way that she lost her mind. And you can see it on her face, like, if that was the last thing she was going to do, if the camera wasn't there, we wouldn't believe it.
No.
Okay, again, and I'm pointing to the fact too, we videotape everything almost as if it was an amusement. Somebody was standing there looking at this as, I'm going to videotape what? Mm-hmm. This attack, instead of saying, hey, I should be trying to prevent this attack.
Yeah.
Somebody should have said, okay, well, they came to her house. No. We gotta look at this. They came to the sidewalk, okay? The sidewalk is called an easement. It's not owned by the homeowner. If that was the case, when you buy your home, they will make you pay for the sidewalk in front of your house if you got one, but they don't. Mm-hmm. We grew so yeah, they came to her house, but I'm pointing what Ish wanted. They came to her house, but I didn't see none of those other people with weapons though. Mm-hmm. None of them.
That's one. Here's the other one. Where did all this take place? Inside or outside?
Outside. So why did you come out? If you were inside, you came outside.
Somebody come to my house to jump me, it's a simple solution.
I can stay in my house.
What you gonna do?
They didn't have no weapons. They ain't like they would say we're gonna come in the house and snatch you out.
And even if you could, then if you stab her in the house, then yeah, that's
self-defense.
There you go.
Right.
That's open and shut.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing to talk about.
Stand your ground. That's right.
You know what I mean? Now they break in your house.
That's a totally different.
But if you go outside to engage them, listen to the statement I just made. Go outside to engage them.
Mm-hmm. You went willingly.
My mother used to tell me all the time, I fought all the time. I was an angry kid growing up. All the way back to elementary school, I fought I've looked for excuses to fight. That's why I'm into boxing now. Like I've always been about physical conflict. My mother used to say the same thing to me over and over and over. What happened? I get sent home or brought home, or she got to come get me. What happened? I give my reason. And she said, Ishmael, how many times I got to tell you? Give ignorance and honorable avoidance.
I like that term.
Give ignorance and honorable avoidance. You don't have to engage them. If they saying this about, he was talking about you. He was talking about your veil. He was talking about da-da-da-da-da. My mother used to always say all the time, I swear, and it stuck to me. Give ignorance and honorable avoidance. You know what I'm saying? So if somebody come over and want to jump me, or you know what I'm saying? If I want the smoke, then I'm gonna go outside and engage them. But once I make that decision, I have to live with the consequences.
Okay.
I can't no longer say I'm defending myself when I actually, actively went outside to engage the conflict.
Right. I became a part.
Now I'm participating in the rumble.
Come on. Okay.
It's not necessarily me defending. I'm not walking down the street and they ran up on me. And again, I don't even know if this is the situation, what we're talking about. This is kind of hypothetical. That's why I don't like to even discuss what happened off camera.
Right, because they didn't let us see that.
Right, because we can sit here and everybody can come up with all types of scenarios and speculate and do whatever they need to do to make themselves feel better about how they feel. But at the end of the day, what is the mindset of a child, because that's what she was, a child, that would pick up a butcher knife to stab another black girl?
Over what? It's like,
Over what?
But I'm with Ish. There were witnesses, okay? You were going to initiate a harmful crime. Okay, this was going to be a crime because if the officer doesn't show up and do what he does, okay, say the officer doesn't react the way that he did, and the young lady in the pink ends up being stabbed multiple times and loses her life, okay, can you say then that that officer tried to do his job?
No,
they'll be outraged.
The narrative would be he allowed that girl to die.
Right.
That would be, she would be the victim. She would be the one that the picture would be up, and it would be, you know, man, they shoot everybody else. Why they didn't shoot her before she killed her? You allow her to die. That would be the narrative. No one will be saying, thank you for saving the killer, even though the other girl, you know, no one understands the concept of collateral damage.
Wow.
The girl was collateral damage, but you saved that black girl with the knife who was the actual assailant. That wouldn't be, no one would be saying that on Facebook or social media. No one. No one.
No one.
The narrative would be white cop let a little black girl get killed. He didn't do enough to stop her.
He didn't do it. They
Right.
didn't do nothing.
Even if he would have tried, even if he would have tased her and she still would have stabbed her, or if he would tried to shoot her in the leg, whatever it wasn't enough. Because she still died. The girl in the pink still died.
what?
That's
No,
what
I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying.
That's what he's saying. Hypothetically,
Okay.
if he doesn't do what he did,
If he doesn't do what he did.
I'm sorry, I went somewhere else real quick and I
You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is this. A person is a person until they become an assailant. A person is a person until they become a combatant
Or a victim.
or a victim. But in this particular instance, I'm talking about the aggressor.
aggressor, right?
You pick up a gun and you aim it at me.
You are
You're
combatant.
gonna get what's
You're a
coming to
combatant.
you.
You're a combatant.
You're gonna get what's coming
You
to
pick
you.
up a knife and you run at me.
You're a combatant.
You're a combatant. You're not a person anymore. Because now you're a threat.
And war, rules of war apply.
And what you must understand is, at that proximity, not only are you a threat, you are an imminent
You're an imminent threat.
threat.
To multiple people.
To multiple people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So again, like, you know, the cop saved that little girl's life. And the thing that bothers me is no one, like that little girl didn't even exist.
Yeah, like she was just invisible.
No one has even mentioned her. And even when I bring it up, people just dust it aside and keep on, yeah, but, like, what if that was your daughter?
You would, right-ish.
What if that was your daughter?
But it's never
If that was your daughter,
and dry.
if that was your daughter, and that girl would have stabbed her, you wouldn't be looking at her as innocent little 16. You'd be looking at her as a monster.
Yes, with a knife. Yes, you would.
You'd be looking at this crazy girl killed my daughter.
For what? Right. For,
That would be the narrative.
But at the same time, you got to consider, until all those extra facts that we are not considering right now are divulged, like
what? What other?
she might have been being bullied. I mean, it's so many.
Okay,
different-
but does the kids in Columbine shot up the school because they were bullied? Does that justify it?
no.
Okay.
And I'm
so-
not justifying that.
So that's what I'm saying.
But
I'm just trying to say what other extreme, because I've heard people say that. What if she might have been getting bullied and the kids in Columbine were bullied? That's why they shot up the school and killed a whole bunch of people, teachers and kids and whatever, because they felt they were bullied. Does that justify committing murder?
No.
No. So what other facts and
it
factors
would never
needs to
justify
be
murder.
factored in to offset what our eyes see?
Well,
I'm just curious.
Whatever initiated it, hey, it got the response that it got.
Right. So, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, Let's just go there for a second.
Okay, come on.
Hypothetically, because people keep saying that. We got to get all the facts and what happened, what's the whole story. Okay, what explanation can you give? Let's say that's your daughter. What explanation could you give to justify your daughter either A, running out there with a knife and stabbing someone, or B, your daughter being the victim of a stabbing? What could have happened off camera or off the scene or whatever that could justify that?
Nothing.
That's a very short list.
Yes, yeah. Like you say, and it's a stretch if you find it because you could have stayed in the house. Okay. And I'm just hypothetically, I'm being bullied, but I'm at home. So do I got to defend myself? If I'm at home, okay, I'm at home, I'm in my house, and somebody say they talking about you on social media. And guess what? They just came outside and they standing in front of your house.
Mm-hmm.
Self-control. Do I have to go out there? No, I don't do it.
Have you ever been bullied?
Yes, I have been
And
bullied.
how did that go down?
Okay.
And the last time that you had any type of engaging situation with that bully, how did that go down?
Well, the difference was for me, I'm sort of like Ish. The difference was for me about the bullying thing was, okay, you just a bully that need to be brought down, or guess what? You just a bully that's finna bang with somebody who just what? I have no fear. It don't matter about your intimidation practices on everybody else, okay? I'm not intimidated, so let's go to the next level with it.
Yeah.
And they would be like, well, I'm gonna put my hands on you. Okay,
Let's get it.
let's get it. So now, but you need to understand one thing. While you intending to put your hands on me, it say I made a conscious decision. I'm intending to put my hands on you, okay? And now because they seen you were the bully, now when I pin you down and going at your cranium, now it's don't hurt him. But like it say, somebody who wasn't there from the beginning don't know that I'm not the bully.
Right.
They don't know that I'm in self-defense mode because I made a decision. It's only the people who are witnessing who can say, "No, stay out of that, bro. He started. They fighting, or whatever." But somebody else who's a bystander saying, "Where we are now, why don't you stop this? Why did you let this happen?" Well, he kept on messing with him. I had to happen to me before. I was always this skinny, long kid who wore glasses, who spoke articulately. Always.
Target for bullies.
Right.
Always. We gonna pick on the nerd guy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, nerd rhyme with herd. I ain't talking about with your ear though. I had a herd of hand speed. Okay? I had a herd of it. Bow! Yeah, bow! When I hit you, it felt like a herd was coming because I was just gonna keep going. Okay, my thing was, and now that you started it with me,
Like you got stampeded.
yeah, that you started it. Now, because your friends want me to stop, guess what? When your friends jump in or try to stop, your friends they going to find out that the herd running at them too.
Mm-hmm.
See? So now so they can't go and say, well, he jumped on all 5 of us.
Yeah.
No, because nobody's going to believe that. So my thing was, okay, he was the bully and you was the antagonist with the bully. Now that me and the bully done bang, guess what? Antagonist, you gonna get the same. And guess what? It don't matter whether you with your grandmother, your mother, your father, in the grocery store. It don't matter where I see you at, okay? So your people can, like it say, so your people will know how you really act then. Cause your mama gonna say, why is that young man trying to get after you? You ain't gonna be able to say, well, I've never done anything wrong to him, because usually it's somebody gonna say, no, they tried to jump on me.
Yeah.
And okay, and guess what? I will be respectful. I ain't gonna fight you while your mother here.
Guess what?
So you know,
When I was in Clark Central, what year was this?
you gotta look at that.
I had drama. We cool now. The dudes in question, we cool now. But I had drama. You remember NOP? Okay. I had drama with NOP, right? And Negroes out of Paldo.
Okay, come on.
Okay. I had drama with them. And it was all over. I got in a fight with one of their homies. He wasn't even from Paldo. He was from Berkeley Hill. And I put hands on him. And he was twice my size. I ain't gonna go into no details, but it was pretty. Because at the time, I was boxing, I was training with my pops. I was, what? My hands was nice.
I'm
And,
nice.
He rolled up on me talking about, I want to fight you. Why? I don't know.
Right. You just the one I want today. Yeah.
Right. Right.
I get it.
So I put the things on him. And it was pretty. I wish social media was back then.
He was like, "Hey, thanks, man. I got what I was looking for."
Right. I'm laughing the whole time because I'm like, he don't understand. I'm nice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I ain't bothered.
Especially at this time, like after school, I was training with my pops. I just came back from a brutal summer camp, which was basically all training. I'm nice. I can go. Okay. So long story short, I wound up leaving school the next day early because there was some threats made against me. Right? While I'm leaving, going to the other side of where the auditorium used to be, that little street leading towards Millage, Cameron Main Street.
Waddell.
There you go, Waddell.
Waddell.
6 dudes from Paldo saw me. And they ran up on me. And we thumped. And I thumped with all 6 of them. Right? Now, if I would have came back, which actually I did try to, but it was unsuccessful. I went to not Spring Valley, Parkview. Because that's when I was young and doing stupid stuff like letting people borrow my gun. So I let somebody borrow my gun. I went and got it, and I walked back to school. Everybody was gone, so nothing happened. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
But I wound up, somebody saw me, reported it to my parents, and that's how my parents found out that I was hustling, which ultimately led me to getting kicked out of the crib, which is a whole nother story. But the point is this. If I was successful in coming back and shooting everyone that jumped me, I can't justify their homicide with the fact that they jumped me.
Exactly. Right. Because it's after the fact.
If I was holding at the time, when they all ran up on me and I pulled out and they didn't stop and I shot one of them, that's self-defense.
Right. But
I can't go back at them. That's retaliation.
Come on. Right.
So what we saw in the video, even if the girl in the pink did do something off camera, the stabbing was retaliation. It would have been retaliation.
But not self-defense. Come on.
Legally. Because she's not actively defending herself at that moment.
Right, because she's not attacking you, right?
She's not attacking you at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So at that moment, even though we can add all of the context of, what happened off camera and all that other stuff, the bottom line is at that moment,
she was
right. And if you're a responsible adult, you explain that to your children.
All right, come on.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And if we're a responsible community, we take accountability for that.
Agreed.
Every time.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? Because if she would have just, I'm going to leave this to the police officer, let him handle it. I called them, they're here, I'm going to let them handle it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Then none of this would have happened.
Right. I agree, Ish. Like you say, the community bears a accountability and responsibility. Like you say, in that fact that she called the police, okay? But then she took it into her own hands. So what was she, what I'm saying is what else could she have been saying? Because young lady in the pink, as we pointed out, Ish, on camera from the video, she ain't doing nothing but on a telephone.
Yeah.
Okay, it didn't even sound that she said anything aggressive to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So where is the community's accountability? And I'm with Ish on this. The teaching accountability of, hey, conflict resolution, as you said, but who determines or who has taught the difference in between retaliation and self-defense? Somebody has it confused.
Right. But see, this is the problem when we're raised on a steady diet of thugging, and killing, and
Murder, and this.
Turn up. No regard for authority and
Bow.
wild, and we savage and we wild.
And we don't care about nobody.
Constantly programmed from the time you were able to understand anything.
You being programmed.
You're being programmed with that behavior.
Come on, Ish. Oh, and I was just listening to the words you were using. Turn up, savage. These are programmed. These are words that initiate that. You know, and you hearing it over and over again, and almost they chanting it in your ear almost.
I'm savage. I'm a killer. Kill a nigga, stab a nigga, shoot a nigga,
Right.
do drugs.
Bow.
Take pills, turn up.
So your
the law.
So your mindset is being fed an alternative that is not healthy for you.
Right. Plays right into the hands of the enemy. And that's the part that we need to, instead of excusing it and trying to put blame somewhere else, we need to, if we're going to have any future as a people,
Come on. Sure enough.
we need to start doing a serious self-evaluation.
Gotta start.
This situation, that particular situation, to me, is not a police brutality issue. It's a community issue.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We are failing our children.
It's up to us to make good humans at home.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, definitely. They say what? Learning starts where?
Yeah. At the house.
At the house.
At the house.
Somebody give me a comment. Yo, what if that was your daughter? That wouldn't have been my daughter.
Because I love my daughter or son enough to let them know ahead of time how to deal with stuff like that.
And the thing about it is, all of my daughters got knives and know how to use them. But that still wouldn't be my daughters, because I understand. I'm very responsible about, you know, I'm all about responsibility. You know what I'm saying? This is only something that you use when your life is threatened. This is not something that you use to pull out and go retaliate on somebody. You know what I mean?
It's not the first option.
It's not.
It's the fallback.
This is because you're young Muslim girls and you're black, and it's a double whammy. They calm down.
You train your daughters hand-to-hand combat?
For sure.
Indeed.
For sure.
And they should know how to get it with their hands before they have to pick up anything else.
For sure. My daughters and my son and my wife, for sure.
But I feel what Ish is saying, and I feel you too, brother, is that the fact that I'm not teaching them to go be the initiator or the antagonist in this way of life or to attack somebody. I'm giving you this skill set because somebody hasn't been taught what you have been taught. They haven't been taught how to act appropriately or how to respond when their emotions come in attack. So I'm teaching you this so you can protect yourself, because somebody gonna come acting irrational because they think that's the rational thing to do, because that's been fed to them. Well, I'm gonna go do this. I'm gonna go do this, and then the very time they can't do it, or it's not successful, or they become the victim after they were trying to be the victimizer. Now the first thing is somebody should have done something. But I love what Ish is pointing to, that not just somebody, we all have a stake in this. It's happening in our community. We're influential in our community. We're impactful in our community. We're actful in our community.
Come on.
So these actions that our young people are taking, I'm with Ish. Who modeling that behavior for them? Who modeling that behavior first? Okay, remember we go with it. World Star, so they would see something. They first thing, World Star, they want to film it. Okay, I think about all the Fight Club videos that teenagers have. They were saying when I was a probation officer. I want my one. Like it's saying, and you be wondering, what you mean? What's wrong? Oh, I just want my one. I don't even know him, but because somebody say he had hands, I want my one with him. Okay, do you understand what you're asking for? And people say, what do you mean? Okay, just what Ish pointed out to earlier. You thinking that, oh, we boxing, or no. You have become a combatant. He can't see you as, oh, dude just want his one, because your one is intent to cause harm to him.
He could kill me by accident with one blow.
Yeah, so he is saying,
You want to box, you go in the ring and put on some
gloves, right? Not let's go outside or let's go into the bathroom and everybody's crying about a certain. Like
that's combat.
Okay.
That's combat.
And that's what I seen the young lady, Miss Bryant, doing when she decided to come outside with the weapon. Okay, she was saying, "I'm coming to do combat.
Right.
I'm not coming to okay. I'm not Ish. You're not defending yourself now because nobody is attacking you. You coming to actually do combat, and you have a deadly weapon."
I'm gonna ask a question.
Talk with me.
Replace the knife with a gun. Now what?
She still would have got shot.
No, I'm
not the question.
Listen to what he's saying. If she didn't have a knife and had a gun, would people still be feeling like she is this person who was taken advantage of? They wouldn't. Okay, if she had a gun, the girl in the pink is dead.
Dead.
Probably the girl that she knocked on the ground, the first girl, both of them probably dead if she has a gun.
And then the next question is, what's the difference?
Oh, come on, Ish, make us think then. Come on, because that's real. What is the difference? Because
What is the difference?
Because if the officer don't show,
You know what's the difference? Range.
right, the gun
That's it.
is a farther range. You got to get closer with a knife.
That's it. Range.
But if she had a gun, she could have done it from a distance,
It's
just
just
like he said.
lethal.
Yeah, could have done it from a
I
distance.
mean, if she had a gun, she would have fired off the shot.
Walking out the house, probably. Yeah, Ish, you're right. The range,
That's
the
it.
proximity she would have to be in with the gun is totally different from the proximity that she took getting the knife. Exactly. Because now that you say that now, if it is a gun instead of a knife, the officer ain't in it, don't even get there in time enough to shoot her.
No, not at all.
And he comes up on the
She
scene.
would have had to shoot her after she was
She
shot.
shot two people. Yeah, after she had shot two other people now, because you definitely got to remember, the girl that was knocked on the ground, before the guy comes across to kick at her or kick her,
Kicked her in the head.
she was standing over her first though, before she turned. So if that would have been a firearm, she would have discharged that firearm and then turned to the young lady in the pink. Exactly. It's very strong statement, but very knowledgeable statement. And now this should give some clarity to the awareness capability of those bystanders who are around, because now who's to say that the guy who was attempting to kick her wouldn't have gotten shot too if she had a gun? Because you discharge on the ground. He trying to get in the way, he might get shot too.
People don't understand, man.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
having a weapon, using a weapon, carrying a weapon comes with a responsibility.
Come on. Yeah.
And I don't think enough people understand that. And this is why I said, based on, the comments and stuff, because I've been having people come at me. Now, I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care. I decided a long time ago, I'm going to stand on this hill, and most people are not going to agree with me. When I first started, 20-something years ago, 20 years ago, whatever, I already knew I was going to be that person that spoke the truth or spoke whatever, and most people were going to disagree. So this is nothing new to me.
Okay, come on.
But the problem, the thing that I see more importantly, circling back to where I started, is that it just goes to show me that people are not ready to take on the responsibility of
Police in their community. Come on.
They're not ready.
Come on.
They're not ready. If you can't understand this situation for exactly what it is, you're not ready.
I like that.
You think just because you got a gun or you shoot and you go to the range and all that. No. you have to. That's one part of it.
Yeah, you trained to handle the
Now
firearm.
you have to understand
but you're not trained to handle the situation.
when and how to use it.
Come on.
When and where to use it. What situations. Split-second decisions. And again, if I'm gonna go from an emotional black person standpoint,
Okay. Come on.
then yeah, officer, police brutality, all this other stuff. But if I'm coming from the standpoint of a protector of people, the officer deserves a medal. Because not only did he make a split-second decision, it happened so fast, most people didn't even see it. You got to slow it down and tell people what happened. Most people are just like, yo, he shot a girl. They don't even see the details. And so in real time, he had to make a split decision and then fire and hit that girl without hitting the girl in the pink.
Hey, Marcy.
And stopped her from committing a murder.
Yeah, it's
Point blank period.
yeah, right. Okay, he had to do some preventive work. Okay, like you say, he had to make a conscious decision. If I don't fire this weapon now, this young lady could die.
Yeah.
Now, my intention may not be to kill this other young lady, but it is to stop her. It is to stop her. And if I don't, okay, I'm with you on this. If I don't do something, the same group of people who are saying I killed her would be saying you allowed another person to die.
Yep. Because ask yourself this. You know, I ask people, what if it's your daughter? No one seems to be, that responsive on that. Okay. What if it was your mother?
Come on. Yeah.
What if that's your mom?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's your mother.
And
this girl who is bigger than her is charging at her with a knife, and you have a gun, and you're at that range, and you've already said stop.
multiple
and they didn't
times.
stop.
Yeah, multiple times.
You trying to tell me you would hit him in the leg? If you hit him in the leg and he stabbed your mother, shame on you.
And then you got to think about it. Is you pointed to another factor that I don't think people realize. The weight difference, the size difference. The young lady with the knife was much bigger than the young lady who didn't have anything. Yeah. Now that's one thing I don't think people realize. Like you say, is are they looking at? Are we just looking at because it was a police officer?
That's it.
Who? Okay. Don't get me wrong. We have police shooters that are wrong. But this wasn't a Dante Wright situation.
This wasn't a Dante Wright situation.
Right. This wasn't a George Floyd
situation. This wasn't a George Floyd. This wasn't a Ahmaud Arbery. This wasn't a Michael Brown. Yeah, this wasn't none of those.
Right. This was a situation where he actually stopped somebody from committing a horrific crime. Because, like you say, it's even if she stabs her and don't kill her, but you slash her up, it's still aggravated.
But in that situation, she wouldn't even stab her. She wouldn't even slash her. Yeah, she was going for the stab.
Yeah, she was. Yeah.
And the thing about it is, like I said, I train with knives every day. And part of, my instructor, who's my pops, you put your body weight into it.
So she was gonna get all of the force.
When you lunge for that lunge, we do it all the time. I got videos on YouTube. Moving your body is part of that. So when it ain't just, I've had them correct me a bunch of times. I'm just, you gotta when you slash, you gotta turn your body into it. When you thrust, you gotta throw your body into it.
Okay. So
to make sure they cut deep.
So it's some force.
She was coming with all of her body weight. That's what I'm saying. When people, I urge people, you know what I'm saying? Refer to a professional.
Come on, Ish.
Talk to a professional about this. You know what I'm saying? If you never train with a knife, train with knives, understand that. Talk to a professional. When they look at that situation, they'll tell you the force that she was coming with all of her body, like I said, she's easily 170 pounds.
Yeah,
easy.
Yeah, okay.
Easy, maybe even bigger. I'm going to just be modest and say easy 170 pounds. I got a 170-pound fighter right now, and he's not even big as she was.
Okay.
So she's easily 170 pounds. And on average, women may weigh more than men anyway. these days.
Come on.
Right?
Right.
So, with all of that body weight and that momentum and the anger, she wouldn't have just slashed her, bro.
Right. Yeah, she was gonna.
And then she was going for her neck. There's certain arteries that you hit in that neck.
Jugular.
It don't matter what happened. She's bleeding out before the ambulance gets there.
Yeah, you're right, Ish. And possibly, like you say, with the emotion she had in the anger, was probably gonna be more than one.
It was going to be more.
Okay.
She would have got off like 3 of them before, before the taser took place. Before she even got the taser off, she would have hit her about 3 times. Before the taser took effect, probably been another 2. If he'd have ran over there and tried to disarm her, she'd have hit her 3 or 4 or 5 times, and then he'd have had a tussle with the girl.
With the knife.
She probably would have stabbed him. But even if she take a little time to tussle with her and try to disarm her, the whole time this girl's bleeding out.
So right. So yeah, she's wow. So because you ain't had time to call the ambulance if you tussling with her.
This girl's bleeding out.
And by the time the ambulance get there, like ambulance ain't 60 seconds away. She's gone.
Depending on where you hit her at, she's gone. Certain places you hit here, 30 seconds.
And you're right. There is no CPR usually can save that. Even applying the pressure that we've been taught to apply, you can't stop that.
I was fiddling around with my knife the other day. Or it was more of that was my knife, but twirling it, whap, got my finger. Man, I put pressure on it for 2 days. It didn't stop the bleeding.
Come on.
I really needed stitches. But I was putting pressure on it. It's right here. I put pressure on it for 2 days. It's healed up now. But I literally
had to
every time I
let it go. Yeah.
So you talking about here, carotid artery? These different arteries here in the neck, man.
Yeah. And like you say, the blood is being.
It's worse than getting shot.
Yeah, because it's severed.
Yeah, it's worse than getting shot. You get shot. Certain places you get stabbed. You'll die quicker than certain places you get shot.
So we can't look at it like you say, Ish, in the fact that Miss Bryant, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man. It's tragic, man.
Tragic. But her actions, her actions played a major role in the outcome of that situation. And in the fact that she had intentions of killing somebody.
Right. And that's the part we're not thinking about, we're not talking about. We're not even mentioning the little girl who was saved, who now has to deal with that trauma of that situation and could have potentially gotten killed in that situation. The little girl that the cops saved. That's the thing about it. This is what makes this situation so interesting.
Come on.
Because it's a glass half empty, half full type situation.
Yeah.
Great situation to really study the psyche of people. What you really think. You know what I'm saying? Because it's literally, again, you could go 1 or 2 ways. The cop shot a black girl,
or he saved a black girl.
Which one would you choose? Both are true. Both situations are true. Cop shot a black girl, cop killed a black girl. Cop saved a black girl.
Yeah.
And whatever side you side on is going to determine your aptitude for right and wrong.
Come on.
Are you really standing for what's right? Or are you just following the wave into the outrage?
For what's wrong?
Into the outrage cage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to be outraged because everybody else is outraged.
And not look at...
It's like Freaknik. Remember Freaknik?
Yes. Yeah.
10 people start running. Everybody start running.
Yep.
It's the same thing.
And not look at the real fact that, there's another person's life. There were 2 other lives here at stake.
Right.
That this man saved.
And they were black.
Come on.
We having all this outrage, this racial outrage towards the situation. He saved a little black life. That if he wasn't there would have been gone.
And we would have still been dealing with black on, if still was black on, would have been dealing with more crime. I like to say it's not black on black crime or white on white. It's crime.
It's crime.
It's crime.
It's crime.
And we have to be brothers on watch, paying more attention to our environment, our surroundings. We have to be opening up this conversation with our young people so they won't be so careless in their actions sometimes about the way they carry themselves within certain situations, because there are appropriate ways to carry yourself and then there are inappropriate ways. And in this situation, I'm with Ish. My question is, what should have the cop done? What should he?
Well, my man just now texted. He said, "I don't agree, man. For real. These are our children. The small way, the smell way, what a small way. He shot her in the upper torso. He could have hit her. He could have hit her low. First of all, even if he hit her low, she still could have died. That's number one.
Okay.
She still could have died. Especially hit her certain places in the thigh or whatever the case may be. You bleed out, man. Listen, in Johannesburg, South Africa, dudes rob people with a butcher knife. They walk up on you, hit you right in that thigh. That little is another. It's an artery there too.
That's right.
Bleed out, gone. So even if he hit her low, it ain't no telling that, he still could have hit her in a place where she died. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. So this is the thing, it's like, shoot her somewhere where she's not going to die. Again, this is movie stuff.
Yeah,
this is people who, this is the kind of stuff, you know what I mean? Like, this is the stuff you see in the movies. In real life, it don't always happen like that. People get shot in the leg and still die.
Yeah.
Certain arteries you hit in the leg, you still bleed out before you get to the ambulance or whatever the case may be. So it ain't no guarantee that if you get shot in the leg, you're going to live. That's number one. And even more important, first of all, it's hard to hit someone in the leg from that range. And their legs are moving. That's one.
Okay, come on.
You have a greater, you're putting people around you at greater risk trying to shoot somebody in the leg.
That's right.
Because even if it passed through the leg and ricochet somewhere else, it hit somebody else.
That's another person wounded who you weren't even targeting.
Right. So there's so much to unpack. But again, to me, it's just, again, this is the reason why I'm going to the field I'm going to. Because honestly, I just don't, we as a people, man, we don't fully understand what we're dealing with.
Indeed.
We don't fully, and if the cops just say, yo, whatever, like I said, I don't care, whatever. If the cops decide to never come to work, it ain't gonna change nothing over here. Not with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
because I belong to a large family and a group of people who know how to deal with it. We straight.
And another thing I'm looking at is in this time and age that we're living in, with so many people of color being unarmed and being killed, what did you think would happen if you are armed? Okay. Remember, this is happening to unarmed people now. So what do you expect to happen when you come toward a officer with a weapon in an aggressive manner?
Right. And here's the other thing too. Let me just say this to be clear. And this is for police officers, private citizens, whatever. Once you pull a firearm, it should take a lot for you to pull a firearm.
Yeah.
And you should only pull it when your life or someone else's life in danger. You don't pull a firearm to shoot someone in the leg.
Okay.
You don't pull a firearm to fire a warning shot in the sky. You don't. And this is not, I'm not siding with the police officer. I'm telling you, I've studied this stuff my whole life.
Come on.
I've been drilled with this stuff my whole life. I've been listening to professionals and studying ex-Green Berets and special forces and special ops and private security contractors and Blackwater guys. I got a long list of people that I've been studying ever since I was a kid.
Come on, come on, come on.
When you pull a firearm to stop someone, the first verbal command, stop. Stop where you are. Once you decide to pull that trigger, you don't pull the trigger to shoot people in the leg. Even in the street.
That's right.
Even in the street. We got a problem. I'm not pulling out to shoot you in the leg. Not at all.
I agree.
You should have enough training and self-control to not pull it or whatever. But the purpose of a firearm is not to wound people.
No.
That's not the purpose.
That's not what it's made for.
So you pull a firearm to stop or to save someone else's life, you're irresponsible if you shoot them in the leg. Because shooting them in the leg is not going to stop them from doing whatever it is that they're going to do. Especially if they're right in the act of doing it.
Right, and you know, people point at, like you say.
And my man, like I said, my man, it's my man. This is my man. I love him to death. This is my man.
But
he said, these are our children. But no one is talking about our child that he saved.
okay.
He saved one of our children.
Okay.
So it is what it is, man. It's just, you know.
And then I point to this ish, like you say, we say shoot low. The knife wasn't in her leg.
No.
The knife was in her hand. So why we didn't say, why you didn't shoot her in the hand? Because what you pointed
That's
out,
even harder.
it's even harder. Okay, if it's hard to hit a leg,
Buffalo Bill.
right? Do you know how hard it is to shoot?
Cowboy movie?
To shoot a knife out of somebody's hand or shoot a weapon. And I love what you point to is on TV you see people, oh, he shot the out of the hand.
Shot her in the leg. That's movie script.
Right. He shot the knife out of his hand, or he shot the gun out of his hand. That don't happen in
No.
real life.
No.
So yeah, I definitely can see we need to take a pause in the community to celebrate the life that was saved.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to sit down and begin to talk with our young people and not say to them, oh, well, you can just tune me out or shut me out about this because this is happening. That this is happening, that this is going on. So we can't be caught up in the phase of, like you say, is we do nothing or we don't address it because this is still in our communities, okay? They're coming into our community, but this was something that was actually in our community that could have been handled a lot differently by looking at just from what the video showed. Mm-hmm. This could have been handled a lot differently because we got bystanders who became participants, but not participants of prevention.
Especially when we know white cops shooting black kids is a reality anyway.
Yes. Anyway, Tamir Rice, he got shot with a toy gun. So what you think gonna happen if you raise a knife, a butcher knife? It's and that's one of the things that I really want us to look at as a community. Like you said, we really have to address this. We have to attack this negative music that is being filtered in, because like you say, it's not being poured in because it's a bunch of music, but they're filtering. They're going to get this because we know this is a part of our programming mechanism. If we use the other music they have, it deprograms this. So we have to identify this, the music.
We got to stop celebrating
the negativity. Yeah.
We got to stop celebrating. We not only stop celebrating it, we have to stop advocating for it. We have to stop allowing it to get in charge. We have to go back to, we really need to go back to where our parents and our grandparents were.
Come on, bow.
You know what I'm saying? That's what we need to start doing. We've grown and, we can do whatever now, Like I said, I remember one time, me and my daughter did a private birthday party for a kid. And my daughter did balloons, I did the face painting. It was for a 9-year-old kid. It was at a club in Atlanta. And the music that they were playing, my daughter, who was 12 at the time, she was like, this music is inappropriate.
See? Yes.
Why are they playing this music at a kid's party? I said, baby, You making perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all sell drugs, have sex, just all inappropriate music for children. We've normalized that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
And then we wonder why our children are out of control.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
True.
We normalize it.
Speak truth to power.
We normalize it, and we gotta stop normalizing. We gotta go into. I feel like in this situation, the conversation should be more. What caused this young lady? What was the mechanisms or the factors that caused this young lady to put herself in that situation?
Yes.
Because that's exactly what happened. She put herself in that situation.
Yes, she did. Yes.
Once you decide, it doesn't matter. 15-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl, 30-year-old man, 40-year-old man, 30-year-old lady, 50-year-old lady, 60-year-old lady. Once you decide to grab a knife and charge at someone else in front of a police officer with a gun drawn,
you have become a combatant.
You not only have you become a combatant, but you've made the decision that even at the cost of my own life, I'm going to take this person's life. That was a kamikaze mission at that point.
Yeah. I like that word, kamikaze. We don't use it enough anymore, but yeah.
Right. That was a kamikaze mission.
Yeah.
You did and then you have to go into what made you make that decision. Because that's what it doesn't matter. You know, we want to get hung up on the age and the gender. We can play with the age and the gender all we want. A person who picks up a knife and decides that they're going to, in front of a cop with a gun drawn who's telling you to stop.
Yes. Right.
Decide that they're going to stab another person, you have just committed suicide.
Yeah. And like you said,
there's no other, all this shoot them in the leg and all that's movies. In real life.
Yeah, and like you say, you can't brace it off of age and gender because you have soldiers in many nations who are not what we would consider, that's not the age of a soldier. Okay, well, let's look at
14,
this country.
13.
Let's look at this country. They don't wait till you 21, do they? You can go in at 17. You're a teenager, right? But they got a limit. You can't go in after 35. So, okay, if I can go in from 17 to 35, that's an 18-year period. Why I can't go in after 35?
And you're still a child.
That's what I'm getting at. She was a teenager. But they want to say she isn't developed enough to know about her decisions. Well, the military-industrial complex in this nation recruit you right out of high school at 16 and 17 years old. And are you developed enough to know what you're actually getting into? If she didn't know, then we didn't know. But Sam don't see it that way. Okay? So that's why I'm in agreement that it's a decision she made, okay? And the difference is they'll say, well, we train you. And that's what you point to. Okay, well, we can point to the fact that maybe we can train our kids to do something else. And not celebrate this. We can train them to denigrate this type of behavior instead of celebrating it or imitating it. Yeah, so I feel you deep on that because I looked at that situation. I remember when the recruiter came, and we was at school thinking about doing something totally different. They was pulling us out of class. Go talk to this. This man got your name on the list. Go talk to him. You ain't asked me did I want to talk to him. You told me go talk to him. Instead of saying, hey, you know, this is about you going in to become a soldier and put your life on the line and kill people. If they would have came and told us that, do you know how many people would have got up out of their classrooms to go nowhere? Most people wouldn't have went nowhere. They didn't make it seem that way. So I feel you deeply on that, Ish. And this has been our Brothers on Watch segment for this week. We hope you'll continue to tune in as we bow down to the truth and speak truth to power. But this has been about Miss Bryant in Columbus, in Ohio, and what happened. But this is also about our children, as my brother Ishues stated, that one life was saved one life was taken, but what side of the fence do you stand on? Are you pro-life or are you just pro-outrage?
That's a good way of putting it.
Bow, bow. This is
Are
what
you pro-life or are you pro-outrage? Wow,
Yeah.
I love that.
yeah. Brothers on watch.
Brothers
man.
on watch. We out.